Hello guys, this is the Golden Pretty with, well, it would be a deck profile, but the one I was about to show you off to you guys, it got misplaced. I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. So, instead I'm gonna be very random and reviewing this cheese, Velveeta Original. Very yummy. You can make good mac and cheese with that. And, well, like, it's very cheap for something that's very good quality. I mean, it's actually pretty delicious. I bought it for about $2.39 at a Walmart store, and, well, I tried it out. It was pretty good. Let's go ahead and see the contents of this thing. Wait a minute. What? Oh. Wait a minute, it's not cheese. It's a Metalborg deck profile. That explains it. Yes, it is going to be a Metalborg deck profile. And happy Thanksgiving or early Christmas or anything else that comes into this world. Yes, this is going to be a Metalborg Sin Buster deck profile. Like I said, this thing is a really cheesy deck. This thing can actually offer you some wins. And yes, I am running Laurel. But wait, what if I told you it isn't a full set? Yes, it is a Sin Buster with Laurel. You can't go home without Laurel. That's pretty much a thing. But how many Laurels would you like to have? That's the question. Well, I'll show you in my my profile. I'm going to start out with the grade 3s. That's pretty obvious. I am running 4 Sin Busters. He's pretty much the main guy to get in. And now people might run 4 Die Kaisers to get that 10k in the crit with a guard break. But I feel like I want to get a little bit of a shoe-in for a to get Sin Buster out, so Barrengrader's there. I have 3 of him. There is some things I actually do like to do with this deck, and that's mainly has to do with him. His ability, I can Soul Blast 1 and a Counter Blast 1. I can search my deck for a Vanguard with a Legion ability, that's him, and Superiorite it. And the Vanguard is plus 3k right out the spot. So what I usually like to do with that, if I go into Barrengrader, and my opponent's still at grade 2, I can just use the effect almost immediately, if I have like a 6k right behind him, that'll be actually pretty perfect, because it would hit for 20, which is 20k threshold, an on-hit draw. That's actually pretty nice. You get sort of a Pseudo stride in some sense, if your opponent wants you to hit. Alright, for the grade 2s, you can't have Sin Buster without his mate. 4 Busters. I also actually like his Legion skill as well. When you're Legion, your Vanguard gets plus 4k with the on-hit retire. I'd say that's actually pretty good. Some little bit of removal, some power. That's so good. And also, since I'm going to be running Laurel, I'm going to have a 12k attacker, so that way I can hit at least a good decent column right in front of him. And for the last one, I have 2 Grandsubs. The reason I have Grandsub in here, it's just so those, it's just one of those little silly situations where if I want to trigger his effect through a trigger check, and yes, it does count. It does count for anything that boosts him up. Boosts him up with a card effect. Triggers are count as card effects. So, and what he does is, if he gets to 13k, he can activate the skill, giving the Vanguard plus 4k with an on-hit retire. More on-hit retires. Man, this deck is trying to go for a board wipe? No. Nah, it's just a little sense of removal. So that way I can get rid of hexy things like Judge Bow or anything that pretty much slams some sun in my face. Alright. That's the end of my grade 2s. For my grade 1s, like I say, this deck is a Sinbuster Laurel deck, so I run 2. Oh, so what's my reason why I run 2? Well, like I say, if you put him right behind any place, the columns are not going to hit as well. Yes, you do get that very scary if he hits. Rest all 4 units and stand the Vanguard up. But now, since there's a Mega Colony matchup, this means that I have to work my way around it. So that way Laurel doesn't get completely screwed over. I could run stands, but this thing kind of needs a little bit more of a draw power. Yeah, I get a 100 draw. What's this shenanigans? So I have. Oh wait. Well, okay. I'll just show you anyway. I got 4 stride enablers, just mainly because I would like to stride, so that way I can probably pop a perfect card if they have it, or ride into another good stride in this deck. But I'll show it off later. Now, Sinbuster can't be broken without this card. My gosh, this thing is good. Like, it's a need. It's a very much need. But it's not too much of a need. I run 3 of him. 3 of him because, well, I don't. It's the same thing that applies to the you know, if you put him like any other place other than the middle, you're not going to hit as much decent columns as you can. So, yeah, Black Darts is there just to get that 30k self-enabled glory skill that Sinbuster has for his Legion. Alright, and also I run 3 PGs and a Quinted Wall. I've been thinking about running 1 more PG, so that way I have a full set. But actually, this actually works out pretty well. So my reason why I am not running the Chi PGs inside this deck is because I'm still afraid of the Laurel. I'm still very much afraid of the Laurel and VX matchup. Yeah, I know they're not that popular, blah, 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 but they're still relevant in the meta, so shush. That's a pretty good reason why I run original perfect cards. That, and, I don't know if it's just me, but managing to counterblast is rather simple. Speaking of simple, my rest of my lineup, this is going to be actually pretty weird to some people, but I run 2 Grandchoppers and 1 Grandwagon. The reason why I run these more than Laurel's, 1, column matchup, the column thing, blah blah blah, and 2, they actually help out with the Mega Colony lineup because they don't need to stand in order to gain these effects. They can just give it to anything that they want. So you could actually make some pretty janky shenanigans where, oh, my Vanguard's not hitting enough. I'm gonna give this effect to him. Oh, look at this! Getting all that power and surge and such. Grandwagon's there just to enable that little combo if I have enough counterblast, that is. All right, so that's the end of my grade 1 lineup. So for my triggers, I run 4, 8, 9 crits. Yes, usually I'm a very big fan of the 8-4-4 lineup, the 8 crits and 4 of the same form of a different trigger, and 4 heals. The reason why I'm going for 9 is because I already have a little bit of an on-hit draw engine going relatively well, so I don't want to deck myself way too fast. So crits are always nice, especially if you're running like a very guard restrictive deck. And I run 3 draws, because why not? It's Gunjo. Gunjo's always there. I would like to take the Penguin as well. Come on, Gunjo. Gunjo's always there. And then, and then 4 heals. Black Nurse. Because you can't have a doctor without his nurse. That's pretty much the only reason. That's a Metalborg. But Metalborgs are not very famous for being archetype specific, which is awesome, by the way. And for the starter, I run Die because it's a grade 3 searcher. It gives me whatever combos I can desire. If I want to go for that one shenanigans that I was talking about with the Barrengrader to Sinbuster shenanigans, might as well go ahead and do that. That and there really isn't much starters to work with for Metalborgs. Yeah, you could run that locomotive starter, but I feel like he might be a little bit too big of a target for anyone else. But that's just me. I could run him. I mean, he's not that bad. He's actually pretty good. But yeah, that's just my little take. Alright, for my strides, I run pretty much what people say that this is unnecessary for the Metalborgs, and I do kind of have to agree with it. This is Metalborg Heavy Duke. Well, Hyper Metalborg to me Heavy Duke, but you get the idea. This guy is actually really ridiculous. Alright, so what he does is, when he attacks, you could counterblast 2, and he gets an on-hit draw for each hard card there is. So pretty much in Legion, you get an on-hit draw 2. And also, if you have a Metalborg card, you get also Glory. Your opponents cannot guard grade 1 or above from the hand. That is what makes it this so ridiculous. So you can actually pump him up with many other things. You can probably do like a Mist Ghost or something for the giggles. And yeah. The reason why I'm not running 4 Heavy Dukes because the one main problem with this deck is the counterblast management. Yes, it's very just, but it can still get really ridiculous because he requires 2. So 2 is very optimal. 1 is just for assurance. Alright, so for the other ones, I run 3 Super Cosmic Hero X Rogue. I'm gonna be honest with you, he's probably one of my most favorited first stride because this scare factor that this guy actually brings is actually pretty good. Pretty much what he does is, when he hits, if his power is 37 or more, yes, you can actually give triggers to him and it would still count towards it. You could draw a card and tire a rear guard. Yeah, for something that's a little bit underwhelming and a little bit under the board kind of thing, that's actually pretty good. In fact, he actually did win me a couple of games with it, just because, hey, I got his power threshold, and yeah. And Laurel, yeah, you can see where this is going. I pretty much cheesed the opponent with X-Rogue. He was an unhappy customer. And then, for the last one, I run 2 X-Tigers. Just because, well, it might go into like one of those little grind games, so I want to kind of go in there and say, hey, I'm coming for a really big number plus a crit if I'm in the threshold. I've heard there was a misprint with this guy. I don't know, but all he is like when he attacks, you can unflip a G unit and he gains power based on how many areas, and if it's 45, and if he's at 45 or more, he gets an extra critical. Not too bad. I could go for X Falcon as well, but he's a little bit harder. He's a little bit harder to go through his threshold. He is 47, and if he hits, your opponent needs to choose a rear guard and put it into the damage zone. So, yeah, X Tiger's a lot better on the self-enabled. So yeah. And if you're wondering, like, how many times do you need to get to him by the time that happens, I found out that usually 3 face-up G units are pretty much the safest option, because when you attack, you get to unflip a G unit, and that's pretty much, I think he gets 4K? Yeah, 4K. So that's pretty much 12 in total. 12 plus 20. 12 plus 26. 12 plus 26 is 38. And if you count the booster right behind him, which is usually a 7 or a 6. 6K? Well, let me see here. 38. If you have a 7K right behind him, then that's going to reach their threshold. So that's usually the best option for him. So yeah, that is pretty much my Metalborg deck profile. If there's any opinions on it, please comment about it. I am more than happy to take the opinions, as long as they're not as discriminating like that. Oh, this deck is so bad. That mine's really better and such. I don't want to deal with that kind of nonsense. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone, if I didn't say anything about that. Bye.